Hi, everybody. It is Saturday, August 27th, and I'm going to try to do a short little update. Just so you guys know that I'm still around, still in the game. Um, yeah, as far as trying to explain the situation that we're in right now and where we're at, this is it's kind of coming to a conclusion. What I mean by that is this liberation operation that I'm involved in, and well, everybody is. Um, just like anybody else, though, that's trying to do a channel or trying to speak more truth or clarify things, I'm being censored, as you can imagine, and I'm being targeted. I'm being targeted by entities to try to keep me quiet or take me out. But I found ways of. I'm being protected anyway, so I'm not really too worried about that. But um, what I've been finding over the last couple of years, for sure, is I'm kind of being held back by two sources. Is our controllers. I'm being watched and censored what I say. A lot of times I can't load up my videos or say something, so I have to be careful of what I'm talking about, the subject matter. Then I'm also being reined back by people that I'm working for because they're just saying it's too much information, TMI. So because I gotta admit, I know a lot, but I just can't say hardly anything, and mostly because I know the spoiler alerts, so I can't really say too much. Like I try to hint around as best I can. And especially watching what I say to make sure I don't get this video taken down. But I'll just reassure you that things are under control, and I know I keep describing it in different ways as far as what's happening on Earth and what's happening outside of Earth, and then even outside of that, there's a bigger power that's sort of watching everything, and call it source or call it God, whatever you want to say. But the gist is, it's everything. Everything we do is about spiritual growth. So this physical world, and we get really caught up in it. That's the problem. Is because we're in the game. We're actually part of this physical matrix, and that's how we see things. We see things from this perspective only, right now, anyway. So people that can think outside that box, you understand. Okay, there's something bigger going on, and it's true. First of all, even the concept that we're eternal beings, it's pretty hard to wrap our heads around. But if I can kind of shorten the story up again, just to tell you where we're at, is this is kind of like a spiritual classroom. We come in, we incarnate into physical bodies to have experiences. Now, these classrooms are watched, as you can imagine, by higher density, even dimensional beings, to make sure that it's not being affected in bad ways, and also hopefully to help guide young souls towards more enlightenment, in a sense. Okay, that's basically it. So we have these physical incarnations. We have a whole bunch of them. So yeah, we have many incarnations, and not just on Earth as well. So all these concepts are really hard to understand, and that's why, like, for me, I try to select what I can talk about, because sometimes I'll just go off and I'll make no sense at all to average people, because they're gonna go, "What are you talking about? We live forever. I saw my grandpa die." It's like, what? It's all about this physical world. Well, anyway, the, to cut to the chase is, um, we've decided that the best way for us to have spiritual lessons is to have duality, have polarity. Like In other words, the more things go wrong, the more creative we can be to try to overcome them. It's like bigger hurdles to overcome to learn lessons. And in this particular classroom is people that were overseeing it allowed it to get this bad. So this one got really out of hand because they wanted to kind of push the envelope. They want to see how much we can overcome, how much negativity we can overcome, and benefit from it, get stronger. But it got out of hand. It's the best way for me to describe it. Because even if you study, the history of human beings, even on this planet alone, I mean, this is the one that I can bring up as a reference because even though we're lied to a lot about our history, but as you can kind of see, there's a bit of a progression that we show over time that, like take for instance, how creative we can be. We solve our problems that we're in, and it always depends on the physical challenges, or for instance, like if we have a lot of earthquakes or something, we'll try to make our bridges more earthquake proof, our houses more earthquake proof. So we always kind of try to fix things to make them stronger and better. So, and then the more challenge you have, the stronger you can become, as well as your physical life. You try to make sure it's better or something. Second time around, you always like trying to improve from the last lessons that you learned. You're always going to go, well, I won't do that again, or I'm going to make sure I'm going to make it better and easier for myself the second time around. So we do benefit from that, but there also comes a point where it's stifling. If there's so much negative that happens, that actually it's kind of stunts your growth, because it's like, and also it creates trauma and bad memories, which stifles people too. So there's this really strange balance that our tutors, our guides have been I'll just say it. They're kind of experimenting with different concepts and ideas, and they also understand that we're emotional creatures too. So that plays an effect on how we react to each other, as well as how we solve our problems. So this is always so hard to explain. So what we've been through is more like lessons to be stronger souls. These are spiritual lessons, but they're manifested in our physical lives. That's how we created challenges. So, okay, one of the problems is, what we realized is we can build up a lot of anger and animosity and want vengeance too. And this is something this is part of our spiritual growth. That's why we're taught to try to be as forgiving as possible. But there's times where it's like, we're just so angry, we get so angry, we overreact. So the reason why this is important, I'm just bringing this up, is because the beings that are helping us get out of this mess they realize that, we're going to have an emotional reaction, which is going to basically, we're going to overreact. This is what human beings do in particular. And we're going to be very, very angry when we realize we're being played and farmed and things like that. So they realized, okay, let's do, like I said, they kind of wound the clock back, and we're kind of redoing this one again. And that's why all these different timelines everybody's trying to wrap their heads around don't match up. But we're doing a slow rollout, and I know it's painful for us that we've already learned and we're already come here, but it's that where we go one, we go all version that we're doing. So we're trying to wake up everybody. It's in a sense, it's a controlled demolition of the old system. And they're making sure that we don't overreact and freak out and take out our frustrations and anger on each other, as well as, our perpetrators. So they're kind of watching to see how we manage this as well. So it's a slower revealing of the truth, and so that's kind of where we're at. And because this is, every time we run through this, as silly as this sounds, it becomes a new timeline. This is a very positive timeline that we're on, and I know the conclusion. I know how this is going to end. It's going to end very well, very positive. But so we're going to try to see everybody's reactions to make sure that we don't overreact and things like that. So that's kind of where we're at. We're near the end of this Great Awakening, and it's hard to put a date on it because I'm watching how they're rolling out this truth this time around too. So, and how we're sort of managing it. So as in a sense, I'm just another sort of student. I've done these before, so I know kind of how to react as best I can, and I'm trying to give guidance as best I can too. But again, they hold me back by saying too much, because I got to admit it is confusing. Because the bigger picture, when you get the bigger picture, everything makes sense. But it's just too much because it's at such a higher level, and I've kind of used this I think before, but it's like trying to teach quantum physics to grade 3-year-olds or something. It's too much. They've got to go through different stages of understanding and learning before you give them too much to think about it. It's just too much. So that's kind of where my guides pull me back, hold back the reins and say, whoa, don't confuse the students as much as you can too as well. So that's kind of my particular problem I have to overcome. But anyway, other than that, I can just assure you that we're being watched and taken care of from high above, or basically by benevolent, not only our friends, but also higher density beings that are making sure that we're getting out of this in the best possible way. That's the best way I can sort of say it. So I'm not falling for any of the fear. I never have, but I'm just going to reassure you guys, don't think that something bad's going to happen or something. To be honest, they're letting it play out this way to show the last of the sleepy people of what kind of hot water we were in, because they still don't kind of get that we're being played and manipulated and controlled. They still don't get that part of it. For us to get it, we just want to get out of this. And again, it's, this is something that's going to hard to wrap your head around, but because we're kind of being watched by in a sense, by our teachers, by our tutors and teachers, they're watching us to see how we come out of this. And and if you still have your mind into the physical realm, it makes these lessons a little more difficult. What I mean by that is, like, these lessons that we're going through isn't just to benefit us as a physical being. Like, it's sort of like, whew, when this is over and we finally get to lay on the beach with and relax, and we don't have to work as hard or something. Yeah, but you're looking at it from a physical perspective again, as in, like, they're helping us to have better physical lives. Yes, that's part of it, but that isn't really the real lessons that we're learning, you guys. We're learning more spiritual lessons. We're just learning them in a physical body. So yeah, we're not supposed to be stressed out and physically ill and everything. So yeah, they're going to help us fix that. But we still have to have this inner kind of awakening and this inner growth that's more important than our physical bodies, is what I'm saying. So, but everything is going to get better, is what I'm saying. So that's kind of where we're heading. So you don't have to worry. That's It's the best thing I can tell you right now. And like I said, I can't really tell you guys too much more until we get past this certain amount of lessons that we're learning. But then you'll eventually know what I know, which is this is all just really more spiritual lessons. Okay, that's the big picture. It's not about, you know, learning how to drive a car and, you know, how to buy and sell real estate and you know, whatever. It's not about success, you know, in a physical world. It's about, and you'll hear this from a lot of people too. It's all about inner growth. It's not about our physical lives. Anyway, I'm just going to try to shorten it as best as I can. So I just want to say, yeah, I'm still around. I'm still getting guidance myself, and we're on track. We're doing good. It's almost over. So hang in there. Okay, and stay positive. Okay, that's it for today.